I am on a journey to see the world's most photographable places, to bring you along with me on a virtual photo walk, to show you the best local photo spots, and to not only show you how to get great photos and videos with the phone that's in your pocket, but today we have a really special episode of PhotowalksTV. I'm going to show you how I make a TV show on a cell phone. People say to me all the time, Jeff, you don't really make a TV show on the iPhone. You just run a few clips from your phone in the show. No, I make a complete half-hour TV show on one of these, the phone that you're bringing with you on vacation to make great travel videos. And then you say, okay, could you tell me about the cool apps you're using, the great accessories, how to hold the phone, how to put a story together, how I can make a travel video that's going to look really great and wow people? You have come to the right place. So let's start with question number one. Why, Jeff, are you actually filming the show on an iPhone? Why aren't you using one of those big, expensive cameras? Well, you've answered the question. The cameras are too expensive and they're big. They're a pain in the butt to walk around with all day long when you're doing a travel shoot like I do that starts first thing in the morning and goes all the way to the end of the evening. The big cameras are fantastic. The quality is wonderful. Whether that's a Sony, an Olympus, a Fuji, a Nikon, a Canon, it doesn't matter. They're all great. But so is the iPhone, and so is the Galaxy, and so is the Pixel. And you can get professional quality on one of these phones now. You're not going to get every shot. I don't think your sports close-up is even possible. I think your school plays aren't great. And in low light in the evening, not so good. But everything else, particularly for travel photography, is fantastic on a phone. The later model phones can shoot in 4K resolution, imagine that. You can shoot in slow-mo, you can shoot time-lapse videos, you can shoot cinematic mode and blur the background. There is so much you can do with these phones, it's unbelievable. So you might say to yourself, well, come on, this is a TV show. When you shoot on the phone, isn't it going to look unprofessional, grainy, subpar? You tell me, what do you think? There's another really good reason for why I switched to the iPhone for travel photography. Some of you may have heard it before. Those of you who haven't know where I'm going with this. I'm out shooting in San Francisco. I'm addressing the camera. I'm telling the camera what a great time I'm having in San Francisco, what a great place it is to shoot. And somebody steals my camera and tripod and microphones all within about 2 to 3 seconds, throws it in the car, drives away, and there goes $6,500 worth of gear. Do you know that the iPhones have locks? You can turn this into a brick if somebody steals your phone, which you can't do with a big camera. Let's talk about the cons of shooting travel photography with the phone, beginning with battery. You know it's going to start running out, but when you're filming all day and photographing all day, think about 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, you'll have a totally dead battery. So you got to deal with that. Storage. You get a phone with 128 gigabytes of storage, you're going to be maxed out real soon. So some fixes. Battery. Well, you could always buy another one, or you could get a power bank, which I highly recommend. They come in all shapes and sizes. I like the MagSafe versions. You can pick up one for about $30 to $40. It will snap on the back of your phone and keep you charged up all day. When you take your photos and videos, everything's sharp, everything's in focus, everything's perfect. Sometimes you don't want it to look perfect. Sometimes you don't want it to look like that. What do we do when every image is 100% sharp and it just kind of looks a little weird? Use cinematic mode. See the way it's blurring on the background? We're going to stop the camera for a second and show you what it would look like in regular video mode. Alrighty, which one do you prefer?
And speaking of apps, while I often do use the cinematic mode on the native Apple camera app to blur the background, well, most of the time I'm actually using my favorite go-to app for filming, the free Blackmagic camera app. It has more features available than the regular Apple app, most notably better image and color quality, the ability to monitor my audio with audio meters to confirm that I indeed have audio, and way better tools for creating time-lapse videos.
Huge heavy gear, big crew, you're looking at them. Well, not entirely true. Look who's over there helping out today, my friend Linda Q. Thank you, Linda. The entire production kit is in this little bag. What do I have in here? Thanks for asking. Let's see. As I say, I bring multiple phones. That's the most important thing. iPhone, and a galaxy, just so that I can know what's going on in the galaxy world. And when one battery dies, I've got a fully charged phone ready to go, or I have another angle, or maybe I have somebody helping me and I'm talking to one camera and that person is getting the footage on the other. So that's very important. So I bring 2 sets of mics just in case the other one runs out, that has happened to me too many times. I bring a lens cloth because your camera lens is dirty. It's in your pocket, it's in your purse, and we need to clean it off night and day once you do it, trust me. I have my video glasses from Ray-Bans, which I would show you, but they're in the car. But that's the case, and they're great because they actually have video camera built in for those times when they tell you no cameras. So I usually begin my show by scouting locations. Here I am in Las Vegas. Where am I going to shoot today? I usually start by doing what's called a stand-up. You stand in front of some place that will immediately say to you, hey, he's in Las Vegas, right? As the show continues, I can go to other places. What you will find that is in most situations, if you get your shot in the middle of the day in bright sunlight, you don't look very good. You look like a raccoon with giant shadows under your eyes. So how to save that shot in the middle of the day, because you will be shooting in the middle of the day, even though the best light's in the morning and later in the day. You look for shade. Shade for nice, even, flat lighting. We're at a park right now in Las Vegas. We have covering above us so to make us look really nice, and the background's nice. I've used a lot of nices there, but these are the things I'm looking for. I'm looking for flat, even lighting so that I look my best and I don't have a background that is blown out. And parks make for really good opportunities to speak to the camera. You may not want to speak to the camera. You may be going to Paris and you just want shots of the Eiffel Tower and the Arc de Triomphe and the Seine River and the Bateau going down the water. And that's fine and dandy. If you were thinking of doing these sort of things where you talk to the camera, well, look for the shade, because shade is your best friend. You're gonna make a travel video, you're gonna address the camera, you're gonna be a one-man, one-woman solo production. How are you gonna get your shot? Now, you can extend the tripod, have the camera on there, and address the camera. That's one way to do it. You can get a small little tabletop tripod like we're using right now here in the park, and that will let me address the camera as well. But that great shot of me in front of Welcome to Las Vegas, or at the Café du Monde in New Orleans, or Times Square in New York, you need a tripod for that. This is an expensive one, but it's light. It's made by Peak Design. It's called the Travel Tripod. There are tripods you could pick up for not $25, but about $150 to $200 that will do the trick. Just remember, when you buy a more expensive tripod, you're buying something that's sturdier, and you will be in wind because out in the world you have weather. So that's something to consider. So that's my wrap on tripods. Have I sold you? So viewers know that I am in love with my beloved selfie stick. The $25 little attachment that gives me a smoother shot. Why am I doing this? Am I doing it just for selfies? No, I'm doing it for travel photography, specifically for travel video. You take a selfie stick and you connect it to your phone, and you get smoother shots, particularly little pans like this, as opposed to walking forward. I've done back-to-back footage with the selfie stick versus the handheld versus a gimbal. You get a lot of products for sell for about $150 that promise smoother video. I haven't seen it. It's a little bit smoother. It's not that much smoother. It's certainly not smoother than the $25 selfie stick, which I highly recommend. If you do get the selfie stick, you will need to get a tripod mount that goes on top of this, or this thing called a cage. This is a $40 product that fits right on top. It looks more elaborate than it is. It's a piece of steel. It allows me to put a light up here. I can put audio up here, and even plug in a hard drive on the side if I wanted to do that. That's if I wanted to do that. So highly recommend that. Okay, so the other thing that pretty much everybody is going to need, you'll resist me on this, but you need higher quality audio. The internal microphone on your phone is okay in most cases, particularly in a room inside the house with no other kind of audio going on. Right now we're at the park. There's some people playing pickleball right over there. There's birds chirping. There's cars pulling in the driveway. Well, the internal mic is going to pick all that up. I like these external lav microphones. Look at this baby. Look at how small it is. I'm wearing one right over here, and it's just going to pick up my voice. This is with an external microphone. And now I'm talking with the internal microphone. Hear the difference? When we come back from the break, I'm going to show you how to take all that footage that you shot on vacation and turn it into a masterpiece. For the break, I showed you how and why I make a nationally broadcast TV show on one of these. A cell phone. Yes, I really ditched the big camera for the same one that you're using, the one that's in our pocket. We talked about some of my favorite apps and accessories to augment the phone and how I go about getting great shots for travel photography. I also demoed the fun part, which is getting all those great photos and videos on vacation. But now comes the hard part. How do we put them together into something very watchable and tell a story about our visit? Okay, so in this segment, I'm going to show you how the magic gets made as I take all the footage that I shoot, organize it, and cut it together into the finished episodes that you see every week, just using an iPhone and a laptop. Ready? Let's dive in. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Good. Well,
Thanks for meeting me here in Carmel by the Sea.
So after a trip, I've got hours of footage to contend with. As I noted, I shoot on multiple phones while traveling, so that's a lot of archiving to do. I usually shoot around 300 different video clips per episode and thousands of photos. So step one is archiving. Make sure that all the media has been collected into just one folder on the computer and separate them into categories, like iPhone footage, photos, drone, GoPro, etc. Now, I usually do this in the hotel room where I bring an external solid-state drive with me for backup. It plugs into the computer and late model phones as well. In addition, I use the hotel Wi-Fi to back up as my secondary backup, but this process can take several days as hotel backup is usually slow. So when I get home, I double check to make sure that I haven't missed anything. So with backup out of the way, let's talk about storytelling. Did you visit Paris, Barcelona, or Venice? Well, tell us about it. When did you go? Why did you go? What were the highlights? Now, my show is a virtual photo walk with stops along the way, introducing you to some various characters and photo tips. So I start there. Many people think that because I make the TV show on a phone, I also edit the show on it as well, and that's just not true. I use my MacBook Pro laptop and Final Cut Pro software. Why no phone? Why don't I do it that way? Well, you can do simple edits on your phone. You can trim the front and end of a clip, but TV shows have a lot of different things going on at the same time, like the main shot, which is called A-roll, and the pictures that illustrate the story, the most important part of any program, which is called B-roll. Plus, you have music and graphics, and they all fit on multiple lines of your track, which is just too hard to follow on the phone. So while Final Cut costs $300 to buy and is aimed at pros, there are many free alternatives, and they're a great place to start. Apple's iMovie is great, but only works on Macs. CapCut, the video editing program for ByteDance, the company behind TikTok, works on phones, Windows, and Mac computers. So keep that in mind. Now, the hard part, the slow part. We have to watch everything that we've shot, okay? And there's no fast way around it. I begin by viewing all the clips, renaming the ones I want to use, so I'll be able to pull them for the episode, and this process can take at least a day. TV travel shows usually begin with the host standing in front of an exotic location, introducing the episode and the cool things that viewers will see over the next half hour. This is called a stand-up. So my video edit timeline, where I put the clips into order, will always begin with the stand-up. Then I move on to the interviews. These are usually 5 to 10 minutes long, and out of there, I'll pull out maybe a few sentences here and there, and those are known as sound bites.
The road is about real people. It's encouraging people to stop and not just buy something in a gift shop.
I love doing interviews and travel shows because it adds local color and authority to the show.
You're watching PhotowalksTV here in Chicago.
Once I have the stand-ups and the interviews in, I can start writing a narration to tie the story together. I record it into a microphone that connects directly to the computer. April is one of the best times to visit Chicago before it gets too hot and after the winter has said goodbye. Now comes the hard and best part, which is visualizing everything that's been said. This takes a while, but it's worth it. It makes the show way more interesting to watch than just having me on camera droning on and on about the beauty of Paris. Instead, I show you. And again, in the video editing program, you can have the voice underneath and you can have the visuals on top. So once the story has been visualized, next comes music and graphics. Video editing programs have built-in graphics to identify the name of the person talking or to name the location that you're in. Music, as you all know, really adds a lot to your soundtrack and keeps things moving along. But where do you get the music from? You can't just take any song you like and throw it up there. You don't have the rights. And if you did, they'd be too expensive. You couldn't afford it. Now, there's several companies that offer what's called royalty-free music, and they charge about $20 to $40 a month for the service. So I try to play it safe by picking up my guitar and playing, or jamming with a friend. That's me and Paul Ellis on the PhotowalkS theme. My brother Jez is also a professional musician, and he often offers me music that I can use as well. Alrighty, now with everything in place, I will play the episode back several times to make sure that everything works, that the audio is not too loud or soft, and that the graphics come in at just the right time. Then I'll save it in what's known as an export. I will save that to my computer, and I will upload a second copy to Google Drive for safe keeping. Now, I know you have some questions, and I think I can predict 3 of them. Number 1, do you script the episode before? No, because as good as Google and ChatGPT are, they can't give me the feel of a place until I get there and spend some time. I like to put in at least 3 full days in a location before I feel I can represent it to the world. Number 2, do you edit the show chronologically or thematically? Well, I like the chronological approach. Since it's a photo walk, I will have things set up to show people how to get from point A to point B, so chronological makes a lot of sense. And finally, number 3, how long does it usually take to edit an episode? Well, for me, it's 4 complete days if I put in long hours that start at 5 a.m. and end in the evening. Most of that is illustrating it with B-roll and fine-tuning. Getting the main story together takes about a day.
Really important active ingredient in every travel video, of course, is the food shot. Because when you travel, it's pretty much all about the food, right? You think Paris, you think New Orleans, you think New York, whatever. Food is a specialty. Here in Las Vegas happens to be the home of the world's greatest restaurant. As far as I'm concerned, Juan's Flaming Fajitas. We want a food shot that is showy, that is theatrical, and you can't do much better than here at Juan's. I'm going to give you some tips for some food shots as well, but right now we're just getting really excited because fajitas are on the way.
Here comes the fajitas. Oh boy. Good old Chris. Good old Chris.
Ready?
Yes. Now that's a flame. That is
Welcome
cool.
to Flaming Fajita.
Yes, thank you.
We kind of got some pretty cool flames with those fajitas, and that's unusual. You're not always going to do that, but you do want to get cool pictures of the food. And you know, for a little attachment light, look at the difference that we can make here. Let me turn the video on again. This is what it looks like without the light. This is what it looks like with the light. It makes such a big difference. You can buy these little lights for about $50 to $100 depending. I paid $90 for this one, and I am going to do a bunch of photos with it. Look at that. Get in tight. The food shots. And then what if you don't have the light? What are you going to do? Well, my friend Linda Q, who's sitting right on the other side of this table, has her phone in her pocket, And she's going to pull out the flashlight. Look at that. She's always with the flashlight. Now, Linda, hold up a little higher. Thank you. We'll get in tight. I was trying to take some pictures of the fajitas earlier. Do you guys, you see everybody is out with their cameras, right?
Yes.
Everybody.
Yeah, that's something that when they come to the table, we usually do let them know. You know, obviously they might want to take pictures because it's fun to watch the fajitas get lit. So they know to wait for the guests to take their cameras out and everything in case they want to take pictures.
And I bet you have people doing selfies as the flames are going behind.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of those, and I'm sure you can see those like on social media too. You know, yeah.
I've never done one of those. Maybe we should get another order of fajitas so we could do that, huh? Yeah.
Here we go. I feel the heat.
Ready for your show?
Remember, you don't need the biggest camera, you don't need the most expensive camera to get great travel footage. You can do it all on the camera phone that's in your pocket. An iPhone, a Galaxy, a Pixel, they're all great. I'd also like you to remember that I'm just one click away. PhotowalksTV.com. Questions, concerns, I would love to hear from you. Meanwhile, I'm Jefferson Graham, and I'm gonna see you on the next photo walk. Bye-bye.